4887. Last and final call for lineup in Class 8.
Three really good females in our main show in the winter heifer calf class. This female I started with, she's as big as I think we need to see a winter heifer calf, but to go with that bigness, she is really good. Takes a nice stride around the ring. She handles herself very well out on the move, gives you a good look every time you see her. Just a lot of power all the way through her, from her chest all the way back to her flank. You get on top of her, her neck sets up in her, and big stout down her top all the way to her hip. Just a good female. Very nice female here in second as well. She's giving away some size, I know, but this female, for me, I guess what separates them, when she wants to get around the ring, she wants to get a little choppy, but I really like the balance that she has as well. The look that she can give you out here whenever this young lady gets her put together. Every once in a while, she wants to drop her loin down in her a little bit, but a good, solid female here in second. Young lady in third, this little female has not cooperated, has not let her show her off to the best of what she is, but a female that I see that has some bone and substance to her, has some rib shape, maybe not quite as powerful back in her flank area, maybe not quite as powerful up on her hip as the two in front of her, but another nice female in her own right.
Attention ORB exhibitors. We're staging Class 9. That is a single entry. We want you to bring up Class 10 as well. This is going to move pretty quick in this middle division, so Class 9 and 10 can both move to the staging area in the ORB show.
This young man's October female. not as highly fitted maybe as a couple of the others that were in here before, but a female. For me, whenever I view her, you have to appreciate the extension out through her front end that she has, the shape down her top. She balances really nice. Maybe not quite as nice off those back legs. I'd like to see her handle them a little better, young man, but a good, solid female. Hopefully it can do some good things for you for years to come.
Thank you, Mr. Evans. Winner and taking blue ribbon is Walter Massard from Rogers FFA. Congratulations to you. Bring in Class 9, got 2 entries on the books. Class 10, be ready.
Really a nice pair of July females before me in our Maina and Juice show. I chose to go ahead and start with the female. For me, I like the way her neck sets up in her a little bit. She gives you a little prettier look out through that front end. You have to appreciate the length down that top. And then when you get behind her, a female that's really powerful out through her hip. And I think that's what separates them, is just the stoutness in her hip, the balance she has from her chest back. Not taking anything away from this young man's heifer in second. A big bone, a lot of substance to this female, pushing quite a bit of brisket. I'd like to neaten her up there, but a good female in her own right. Rib cage is right, hips right, just not quite as powerful as the one in front of you, but two nice females in this class.
Missing an exhibitor in class number 10. If you want to show your main Anjou heifer, class 10, we're about to walk them into the show arena. Class 10 main Anjou heifers. Main show's going pretty fast, so class 13 main Anjou heifers, start getting it on your mind.
Well, another good, big class of ORBs here, and another fun group of cattle to sort through. Different types and kinds, just like we've talked, but good females. Really nice heifer here to start in this black and white heifer. Really just a powerful female, bold in her shape and dimensional in every way when you look at her. Yet it's still sounder, sound enough. I mean, we're not going to sit here and nitpick it. I mean, she has as much power as anything out here, yet does it in a sounder package and does it with a nice look as well. So just a good female and a good place to start here for me in my mind. Real logical place to come next in the blaze-faced heifer. Again, one that's got a little more maternal look to her, a little more cow look. She's got a good rib cage in her. She's plenty stout as well. There's certainly no doubt about that she has a decided advantage in stoutness, especially after the other third place heifer here that's nice, that's standing with her. A heifer that is just powerful in her own right, just doesn't have quite that extra look and isn't quite as sound as the heifer that's right above her. So she's going to be second, but a good female there. The young lady did a good job. Nice heifer here in third, just a good solid female. She gives you a good look from the side. She doesn't wow you in any way, but there's sure more good in her than some of the others here, because there's just so much practicality to this female. She's not the stoutest by any means. She's not quite the best looking, but she's still good looking in terms of balance. And she's just a useful kind of heifer that can do a lot of good. Just a good middle of the road kind of decent size, solid kind of female there to be third. Heifer that's black and white that comes next, got some length, got some extension. She's sounder than several of the heifers that come after her, and you appreciate that about her, and that's why she's here in fourth. Plainer than some of the heifers above her, but a good solid female as well. Again, the gray and white heifer here comes next. She does so just based on her soundness. Needs to be deeper. Maybe like to change her up a little bit in terms of her rear third balance. But again, she's the soundest heifer of the ones that remain. And so she's going to be your fifth place heifer and a nice female as well. Again, several good heifers here as we go down the line. All different kinds of breed composition and different types and kinds as you can imagine. So nice females. And again, a class big enough. We just unfortunately don't have time to talk all of them, but the young folks out here are doing a great job. We've been at it a long time today, and my congratulations.
Keep your mic.
Thank you very much, Mr. Work. Attention in the barn, ORB exhibitors in Class 10, we need you in staging right now. As mentioned previously, Class 9 is a single entry. Class 10, you will be in really soon, so you need to be at staging. Class 10 ORBs, all of you to staging.
Class 13 main Anjou heifers, we need you to the north staging area at this time. Class 13 main Anjou heifers, We need you at the north staging area.
It's a single entry over here on our ORB side. A nice heifer here, the young man's. There's substance and dimension to this heifer. She's got body and muscle, certainly. Maybe we'd neaten her up just a little bit in her look if we could, but that's a good, solid female here. We'll bring her back out and compare her to our other class winners in this division. Congratulations.
Class 13, Main Anjou Heifers, we need you to the north staging area. Class 13, Main Anjou Heifers, north staging area.
Reminder to ORB exhibitors that Class 11 and 12 are the junior championship classes. And I am calling for Class 13 to come to staging. Class 13 ORBs to staging, please.
6, 9. Okay, that's what happened. There was one deal, two.
Let me straighten it out.
Okay, yeah, make it two. Yep. There you go, Abby. So where your two is.
I think, again, to start this class, I've got a female that fits me as far as the way she moves around the ring. She's very fluid in her movement. She covers her tracks, does what she needs to do there. And then when you look up from that, you see a female that has some extension. She has some body. She has some look to her. Just a sound cow prospect, in my opinion, and a nice way to start my class. Big power female here in second. Love the shape down her top, out through her hip, the way she balances from her chest back to her flank. Maybe for me, I'd like to free her up just a little bit on the move, young man. She wants to get a little restricted off of that back end. I'd like to see her reach out and take a little nicer stride to get her in competition with this one in front of you. Then the heifer in third, I think, follows my second place heifer when I look at her as far as her body makeup and the way she's put together. Maybe not quite as nice out through that hip, maybe a little rougher there, maybe front end, and would like to change her just a little bit there when she gets off her front end, but a good solid female as well. young man in fourth, this female's got some length of body. She does have some extension to her front. Like to tone her tail head down, lay it in her a little nicer to get her in competition with the ones in front of her. Our paint heifer closing out. She's given up some condition to these females in front of her, I know, but a female that has some bone and substance and muscle to her. Just a good female, not quite as show ready as maybe as the ones in front of her, but a good heifer in her own right as well. Congratulations.
Attention ORB exhibitors, we're now judging Class 10. Class 11 and 12 are champion classes, so we need Class 13 ORBs to staging.
Class 13 main on Jew heifers needs you to make your way to the north staging area. Class 13 main on Jew heifers. With the sash and the crown. We thank her for coming out and helping us with the awards here today. Again, Elena Seifert, our Texas main on Jew sweetheart from Huntsville, Texas.
Well, a good class over here on the ORB side, and again, one of those instances, we ran into it, I think, in a Red Angus class where there's three really, really nice heifers, and you just hate to pull somebody in there third because, all three of these heifers from a quality standpoint are going to be really, really competitive within their division. But that's how it goes here. We got to place them 1 through 3 and decide which ones we like, even though we like them all, which ones we like the best. So the red heifer, the young man's, is with the white tail, is going to win the class for me. She suits me pretty well. I like all three of these heifers, but I think this heifer's a combination of somewhat of both of the heifers behind her. She has the substance and dimension and power and look, yet she has some function to her as well. For as stout and powerful as she is, she can still get out and move and get around the ring pretty well. Heifer that isn't as far along as the third place heifer, but certainly bred up and okay in that regard. And just a really tremendous look. She really combines stoutness and power and attractiveness with some soundness and structure. Really good black heifer here as well. The young lady's very attractive from the side, really up-headed as any in here, and good in her lines, and again just long-sided. A heifer that maybe is not quite as bold in the way she's made compared to the heifer that's right above her. A heifer that's not quite as far along as a heifer that's behind her, and maybe that detracts from her slightly, and it's not as if she's open or way off. I mean, she's starting to come along, I think, from what you can tell to just visually look at her. But a nice female. There's just not quite as much strength in her hind leg as the heifer that wins the class. Doesn't hit you quite as hard, and combining that extra shape with a really good look as well. Nice red heifer here in third. Again, appreciate her being bred up and starting to really come along and get close to calving. She's attractive as well. She's not as stout as the two heifers that are above her. She maybe, again, is one that's sound in the way that her hind leg's made, but maybe not quite hits you as hard with quite as much look and balance. And the same goes for the way she lays her tail head there into her top line. So that's nitpicking small things, but when you get good females out here, that's what you have to do to place them. And just a good trio of heifers there to start that class off with. Sure, an interesting individual here. Perhaps if she'd have came out with different parts, she'd been a fun one. And she's interesting, no doubt about it. For me, when you get some good heifers like we had in that class, there's just not enough female in terms of just a true breeding female for me personally. If you like her parts and pieces and how out there she is and some things, hey, I get it. I see it totally. But for me, she's just not quite that, I don't know that she's what you picture when people say, well, you'd like to have 100 cows out in the pasture that look like her. I don't know that she's that. That's not to take anything away from her as an individual. She's really intriguing, and I don't doubt if you chose to go a route, there's going to be some interesting things you could do with her. It just may not be her doing it herself from a true production standpoint. Heifer that comes next here, a blaze-faced, snip-nosed female. Good heifer here, certainly. Just kind of gets in one of those tougher classes. There's just doesn't hit you quite as hard from a balance or dimension standpoint as the ones above her. And the heifer that comes next, same deal. Nice female, sure. I don't want to take anything away from her, just in one of those tough classes here today.
Over on our main Anjou side in our junior division are a good set of females before me, and there is quite a bit of variation in this group that's before me, but they all have one thing in common. I think they, much like the others out here in the division, I've tried to get cattle that have some substance to them, that have some body, have some natural ability to get around the ring. Some of these are a little larger frame, some of them are a little smaller. We have some variation there, but I think as a group, I've got a good set of females before me. Let's give this set of kids a round of applause, and we'll get our champion reserve picked out of here and get to our champion drive here in just a little bit.
Well, another strong set of firsts and seconds here in our ORB division. And again, just kind of like I've said, literally almost any type and kind that you can imagine within this particular age division here. But when we come out here with our firsts and seconds, these are heifers that really kind of fit together and look really good. So that's fun to see when you sort through a big number of cattle like we did with all those options and varieties and come out here kind of where we go. So the heifer wins the first class, the roan heifer, just stout and powerful. She's correct in her line. She's really bold in the shape to her rib cage. She's attractive in her look when she stopped. Out here, maybe she's not quite as flexible as some. We'd maybe like to just give her just a tick more length of side as well, but a heifer that's got a lot of good. Stout, powerful, black and white heifer that wins the second class. Just tons of power in this heifer, yet still we've seen cattle that come through the ring here in this division that had all the power in the world that just couldn't get out and move. This heifer can do that. that. She's maybe not perfect, but she certainly does it to a higher degree than some we've seen, and she's certainly adequate. Now, to say she's the most maternal in her look, for me personally, I don't know that I'd say that. She's pretty gathered up there in her underline and her teats. It's going to be kind of a question, that is going to be a problem potentially for her. Maybe not the most maternal in her head shape and female in her appearance, but a good individual that you love her power, you love her shape, and I really appreciate the fact that she can still get out and move while having that. Nice heifer here, the young man's is a single entry. A little plainer, obviously, than some of the heifers that are out here, but a heifer that's got body, got muscle. She's got some bone. A good female for that young man, especially within her respective breed. Heifer that wins the final class, the red heifer. To me, she's just a heifer that gets out here and gives you that great look, gives you that extra stoutness and power, yet still does in what I would refer to and have referred to as a female, feminine, maternal kind of package. She looks like she can go out and still make a cow and kind of maintain herself and do some stuff in the quote-unquote real world. And I really appreciate that about her. That was a good, strong class. It had 3 nice heifers in it, so a good female. It's obviously in contention as well. So I'll take another look at them. I'll show you the 2 that I like best. Good, interesting division, as interesting as you can find, I think. So been fun to sort them and a challenge nonetheless, but enjoyed it.
Class 14 and 15, main on Jew females, we need you to the north staging area at this time. Classes 14 and 15 in our main on Jew heifer show, we need you to the north staging area at this time. I'd like to remind all you exhibitors that we're fortunate enough to have a grand reserve breed champion heifer. To be sure to get your bios into the announcer stand, and also our main Anjou and ORBs that won't be long from handing you a bio if you're a champion reserve. We'll need to get those in extra quick so we can transition into our scholarship award ceremony. Okay, we're in our senior classes in our Main on Jew Heifer show, as well as our ORB show. So you heifer calf and junior champions start getting on your mind to migrate up here to the north and south staging area. You previous division champions, heifer calf and juniors in the Main on Jew and the ORB heifer shows, let's start getting those heifers back up to the north and south staging area.
Class 14 ORBs and 15, we need you to come together. Both of you, Class 14, first call. Class 15 ORBs, come alongside of them. They'll move through pretty quickly. We've got 6 head in Class 14, 5 head in 15, plenty of room in the staging area. Let's check them in.
Again, this class of main females, there is definitely a little variation in size and way they're designed. Probably genetics has a lot to do with that. I chose to start, I think, with the complete female in the class, a female that she's sure adequate when she gets out on the move and gets around the ring. She's got some udder development showing me she's going to get into production here in the near future, still holding her top line together very well with a big calf in her belly and handling this ring fairly well. Young lady with this heifer in second, she's a bigger frame type female. When this young lady gets her stopped and set up, she gives you a great look from the side view. You get on top of her, there's a lot of turn to her there. I'd like to see a bigger calf in her belly showing me that she's getting closer to get in production, and then it might get a little closer between this top pair. Young man with the heifer in third, big bold female. She's really opened up in her front end. When I first saw her, I was wondering how she would be able to get around the ring, but she can actually truck around the ring pretty nice. Female with a lot of body, little tighter in her forerib, maybe just her shoulder, the way it lays in her. I'd like to change that a little bit where she could reach out and take a little nicer stride, but a good solid female here in third. Young lady in fourth, this female's just giving away some top shape and not quite as powerful out through her hip. She has some depth of body, has some extension, just need to power up down her top with the females that were in front of her. Young man closing out the class, follows much like the heifer right in front of her. Just needs to be more heifer there to compete with those three up in the front end of the class today.
Thank you for those comments. Take the blue ribbon in class 13.
5 strong heifers here in this ORB class as we get into these older females. And again, you know, there's give and take. There's things you really like about all 5 of these heifers. There's little things you change, and there's things you'd nitpick here and there. And so it's a fun challenge to sort through them and decide kind of which way you want to go. I landed on the young man solid black heifer. She's a heifer that probably could be a tick fresher. She's got enough condition on her, but I think that this is a heifer that still is the most practical and functional, and still adds that with some little bit of look and enough dimension and muscle. Again, she's a heifer that's bred up. She's starting to make a little bit of a bag. Now she does have a little bit of condition down in there, especially in front of her udder, and hopefully that doesn't impede her milk production once she does go ahead and calve. But I would like to freshen her up, but I really like this heifer otherwise. I think she's adequate in terms of soundness. I think she has a nice solid look. I think she's big and bold in her rib cage. I think she's got some muscle in her as well. Not the biggest boned heifer of the ones that stand out here, but enough certainly. And just a good heifer, good place to start for me. A black and white heifer that comes next. She's stout. She's moderate. She's deep. She too is bred and kind of starting to make a bag and going to have a decent udder. A little bit shorter sided, a little more chest in her as well. Heifer that doesn't, again, those little things in terms of balance, doesn't put her tail head quite as nice into her top line, and it's nitpicking. Maybe we'd change her head a little bit, prefer perhaps the one in the first slot, better there in that regard. But she's a heifer that's better footed than the heifer that's in third. She's a stout, powerful female there. I like that about her, and I think she'll be a good cow for this young lady. Heifer that's in third, I think her skeleton's good. She has as much flexibility in her skeleton as any. I have a little concern. I appreciate her udder. I like how she's making a nice square udder, starting to bag up. I do have a little concern on her feet. She's a heifer that gets a little thin there in this right claw of her right rear foot on this show side here. She's going to maybe be a little longer toed. That is concerning for me, but I like the heifer. It's a good heifer. She's maybe not as bold in her rib cage as a couple that are above her or ones on either side of her. That's a good heifer, though. I'm nitpicking that little thing, but you can get her out here, and she gets her set up. She does a great job. She's correct in her line. She's attractive. Again, a good heifer. A heifer that comes next in fourth, one that's a little farther off in terms of her development of calf, one that's maybe not quite as flexible, but a heifer, again, great look from the side. Lots of balance, lots of quality, symmetrical look like that about her as well, a nice female. Big, powerful female here in fifth. Again, a nice heifer, no doubt about it. She's power and performance and extension to boot. Lots of hip and power. It's a ways off for her in terms of when she may calve. She's not one of those that's starting to make a lot of bag. She's one that's going to be a little bigger in terms of her mature frame size for me. Good set of heifers here. They round out. Nice females for sure. Just little things we change about them to move them up.
Over on our main and Jew side, a pair of junior yearling females. I went ahead and take a chance on this female that has not bagged up completely. You can tell she is getting started. But a female that For me, I think she's the power female of the two. More shape down her top, bigger power out through her hip, and she's sure adequate when she gets around the ring. Just a good, solid female that should be hopefully get in production and do a nice job. The young lady's cow-calf pair here, I do appreciate this female having a calf at side, but saying that, I'd sure like to change her udder the way it's designed. I don't know how good she's going to be in those up on her front teats. They look a little light on production as far as milk, but a female that has some rib shape to her, has some hip to her, and already has a coupon at side. Just going to be pretty hard on her, just on her udder quality, young lady. Congratulations.
Thank you, Mr. Edmonds. We'll be in our senior drive here very shortly in our Main Anjou Heifer Show. So you heifer calf division and junior division winners, start getting it on your mind, thinking about bringing your cattle down for the grand drive.
Another good class in our ORB show, and interesting one. There's some give and take here, and of course, different stages of being close to production here. But two good heifers here to wind up on the top of the class. I think the young man's heifer, they're both bred up. I'd like to see them maybe a little farther along, but they're making progress, and they're fine. They're okay in that regard. I think they're both big, powerful females, lots of hip, lots of body. I think the young man's just puts it together a little better in terms of just a little more flexibility of skeleton, just a little more look from the side as we evaluate them. But they're both good females. They're powerful, they're stout, they're strong built, they're good-sized heifers, good females nonetheless. I love the fact that this baldy brockle face here has got a calf at side. Doing a nice job with her. Not the perfect udder, but certainly an acceptable one, and one that can work. And of course, she's in a total different body condition score than the heifers that are on either side of her. But that's okay. She's also moved on to a different part of life and is out working, and a nice female here. Just gets in one of those classes where there's a couple pretty good ones that have to beat her, unfortunately, just based on sheer quality. Heifer comes next. Of the remaining ones, this white-bellied female is just more practical. She's just sounder off of both ends. Certainly a plainer female, but practical and useful, and I appreciate that about her. A couple heifers here that mean to be just a little more maternal in their look. Change their udders, change their heads, give them just a little more female appearance, if we could.
Where'd he go? I didn't tell him they're going to be 1, 2. I didn't tell him. I bet you assumed 1, 2. Over on our Main Anjou senior yearling side, a pair of females. This paint female up front has already gotten in production. She had a calf and lost it. This is not her calf that's following her, but she's claiming it and raising it as her own. A female, for one that is already calved, I really like the way she's put together down her top line. She's holding herself together very well there. She's not carrying a bunch of extra condition. You're seeing her just the way she is, just a good, stout, functional female. Hopefully get her back in production, whichever way this young lady wants to go in the main end of it or what she wants to do, and get her producing something that she can bring back here to San Antonio in a couple years. But a good, solid female to start the class. A young lady with the female in second, a female that's, you can tell she hasn't got as big a calf in her belly. Maybe if with that, and she's had some fat in her at one time, and when you get right in front of her, she's a little narrower in her chest, and that breast gets pushing out pretty hard on her. But a female that has some turn to her top, just not quite the base width that we see in this paint female to start the class.
Thank you, Mr. Evans.
Attention in the barn. We need our calf champion in reserve and the junior calf and reserve to report to the staging area for the ORB Grand Drive. Calf champions and reserves, junior champions and reserves to staging.
Well, we made it here to our final class of the day in this ring. It's been a good day, certainly a lot of good cattle, and got a good class here of ORB heifers and two good pairs out here, and fun to see these heifers come out here in production, and really nice young cow here that's going to win the class. Pretty logical place to go there for me. Tremendous milk flow in this female. She's still holding her body condition good. She's raising a really nice heifer calf. Her udder quality is good. I'm sure they've held her off for a while, and her bag's a little fuller than it normally would be, and so her udder quality is good. Her quality in general is good. Their balance and symmetry is good. Just a nice pair out here kind of doing what they're supposed to. So good pair here in second as well. Heifer that's a little plainer than the heifer that's above her. Calf's a little plainer perhaps, but it's also a hairier calf, and it's it's at that stage where it's a little trickier to look at, but a good pair, and love the fact that, again, a lot of milk flow in this female. She's out here doing her job, raising a calf. She's a sound, practical, functional female, and I love that about her, and a good place to be in second. White heifer that comes next is her big advantage is the fact that she's getting ready to calve, or kind of starting to make progress towards that, and also structurally she's pretty good. Big stout female. She's going to be a little bigger cow when she does calve, but a nice female, and I think there's enough more of her, and she does it in a sound enough package while being farther along in calf to be above the two that remain. A couple heifers here that need to be a little farther along in calf. Again, just look a long ways off, and the red heifer is sounder and just a little more feminine in her appearance, so she's going to beat the smoke heifer here. That's going to round out, and just a little plainer here, a little coarser, and we'd maybe like to make her just a little more feminine if we could.
over on our main and Jew side in this division. There's females in here that have some pieces that you like to look at. Some of them you would sure like to change some things about them. But basically, much like some of the others, there is some females out here that have some rib and dimension to them. Soundness, can get around the ring. For me, it's depending on what segment of the industry you want to use these females are. And there's some females in here that are sure adequate in their size. There's some that are a little bigger maybe than what I could use in the hill country, kicked out in the pasture and getting in production. But good set of females. Let's give them a round of applause, and I'll get your champion reserve pulled out of this division.
Well, our final division of the day, our senior champion in the ORB show. And again, there's lots of options that come out in these classes, but you get out here in your first and seconds, and I'm pretty pleased with how they came together. So really nice heifer that wins the first class, and the young man, solid black heifer. She's really female in her appearance. She's feminine. She's attractive. She's got body. She's going to have a really refined udder. Her structure's solid. She's correct in her lines. She's not the freshest one that we've seen, but she's not anywhere out of bounds by any means either. She's a March heifer here. She's starting to bag up, so she's kind of right on time for her age, more or less. I'm not going to profess to sit here and make a call as to when she's going to calve just by looking at her, but she's making her way towards that. An end of March heifer. She's sure got a month yet before she would be behind time, and I think she's sure going to do it before then, to just guess. But so that's a nice heifer. You get her out here and compare her to like this pair that's already in production. You love to see that. There's no doubt about it. But for her age, I don't know that we can discount her either, just because she hasn't calved out here. She'd be doing that pretty early. So that's more of a general discussion there, but than rather about that specific heifer. But there's a lot I like about her. She's certainly a contender out here in this division. Good heifer here in the second class. Stout, powerful, long. She's big boned. She's maybe not quite as attractive necked. Again, she's not as fresh as some we've seen. You'd maybe neaten her up in her neck and get her out a little higher out of her shoulder. She's a heifer that's bred up, but she's maybe not making quite as much progress. And again, this is just speculation. As the heifers on either side of her for her age, that's nitpicking. She's fine, but as we have to sort through them and compare them to the others, it's a consideration. But there's lots of power. There's lots of stoutness and body and length in that heifer there. Heifer that wins the final class is a November heifer. She's got a little heifer calf at her side here. This heifer's done it. She is a cow prospect here. She's sound. She's practical. She's got plenty of milk for a 2-year-old. Maybe even honestly bordering on a little more than you'd want if she wasn't in the environment that she is, eating maybe a little show feed like she is. But she's got a good udder. She's got some milk. She's got a quality calf at her side. She is obviously feminine and maternal. She looks it. Now she's at the stage of life that does she hit you quite as hard as maybe the other class winners from a balance standpoint? No, but I don't know how you could expect her to either. So interesting division out here. When you get these at different stages, it makes more of a challenge because you don't want to be unfair to one or the other. You don't want to be unfair to this heifer for doing just exactly what she's done. That's won the first class. You don't want to overcompensate for the pair, even though you really appreciate that about her. So anyways, that's maybe more information than you were wondering about, but just wanting to let you know what I'm thinking as we look out here. So great division here of females. I'll pick the 2 that I like the best. We'll look at them here for a second, and then we'll pick a champion ORB.
Ladies and gentlemen, out of class 15, your first place winner there taking senior division honors. And that is entry number 25319, Gabe Seymour, El Campo FFA member. Move up into 14303 for reserve consideration. And ladies and gentlemen, our judges selected our winner of class 13, entry number 13547, Crawford Kennedy, Stevens County 4-H member for the reserve senior honors. And we'll circle them back around at that grand champion drive there in just a moment.
Over on our main and Jew side, this is our champion drive here this evening. 6 females before me. I think all of them have lots of quality to them. There you have some bone, substance, rib. There's a couple of them, maybe a tick bigger framed, but they're good cattle to go with that frame that they have as well. They're still holding themselves together very well, still have rib shape, still have dimension to them. Good set of cattle before me, good set of kids. Let's give all these kids a round of applause, and we'll get our champion and reserve main pulled out.
Well, folks, we made it here to our final breed champion drive. We're out here in our ORB division, and really a nice set of females. Again, kind of like we just looked at in the key breed a while back. There's lots of availability in terms of type and kind and all sorts of options that came through this breed. But you get these 6 division winners out here, and boy, they look pretty good. Nice females here. Again, I certainly like all these heifers for different reasons, of which I've already discussed. We don't need to talk them again. Just would like to quickly thank folks out here helping in the ring help. These guys did a great job and certainly run a really efficient, well-organized show here, and it's been really fun to work through all these cattle today, and I appreciate all their help. With that said, I'll go out here and pick your champion and reserve heifers in our ORB division. Again, really good group of females out here. Certainly going to be a couple of heifers that excite me really well. Thanks again, and congratulations to these exhibitors and breeders in this breed. Let's give them a round of applause.
Again, we need the bows up to the announcer stage. Please get your bows up to the announcer stage as soon as you can. Just a little heads up, we're not need you here now, but you heifers, when you come up for the Supreme Drive, we'll stage all the cattle in the south staging area. All the cattle will be in the south staging area. We'll need a handler to monitor and take care of the heifers while the kids are receiving their scholarships. We'll need the exhibitors of the Grand and Reserve breed champions. We'll get y'all in line on the north staging area. So again, we don't need you at this time, but we'll stage the cattle with the handler on the south side. We'll stage the kids on the north side, bring the kiddos in and give them their awards during the scholarship portion of the Supreme Drive. Then the kiddos can migrate back to their cattle in the South Arena, and we'll bring the Grand and Reserve breed champions in and let the judges pick a Supreme. So that's kind of the protocol we'll use for our Supreme Drive. Again, when the superintendents give me the green light to go, but we're looking around 8:30 to get this thing started. We need the bow for the Reserve Champion Shorthorn up to the announcer stand. We need the bow for the Reserve Champion Shorthorn up to the announcer stand. And the Reserve Champion ORB. Needed the Reserve Shorthorn and the Reserve ORB bows up to the announcer stand at this time. Okay, you lucky members that get to participate in the Supreme Drive. Again, we'll bring the cattle to the south staging area. You'll need a handler because we'll need the kids that are going to win the scholarships and the awards for our reserve to be lined up in the north staging area. The order will be, we'll give the scholarship and the awards out first. We'll walk all the kids in that showed. We'll do all the breeds. Give scholarships for all the breed champions and then belt buckles to the reserves. And then we will bring in our British breed winners and select our Supreme Champion British female. As we finish that, we will then bring our exotic breeds in, or continental as we're calling it here at San Antonio, continental breeds in and select our continental breed champion. I'm showing 8:13 and 8:30 is our proposed start time. Okay, we've got about 7 minutes until our projected start time, so we need to get all of our breed and reserve breed champions up to the south staging area. Again, you youngsters, bring a handler with you because we'll need to take you away from your cattle for a little bit and need you in the scholarship and the awards presentation. That will take place in the north staging area. So you youngsters need to come to the north staging area. We'll get you in an order to walk into the ring. At the conclusion of the scholarship and awards presentation, we'll take you back to your cattle in the south staging area. We'll bring in our British breed champions and select our British Supreme Champion. After that, we'll bring in our Continental breed champions and select our Supreme Continental Champion. Have any questions, come up to the announcer stand. But we're trying to get this thing started here in about 5 minutes. We need all the cattle, whether you're British or Continental, to come on up and get in the south staging area. We will pick our British division champion first, but in the essence of time, we need them all here. We'll run our British in, pick our Supreme, then we'll have our Continentals there ready, bring those in and select our Supreme.
This is final call for lineup of champions and reserve champions with the handlers. And you scholarship recipients, report over to the north side of the arena for scholarship presentation lineups. Cattle in the south holding area. It just depends on, what the sound quality is like. Want to thank all of the spectators that have joined us in the grandstands. We're about to begin our presentations here for scholarship awards, and all of the individuals who may have joined us on the live stream through the World Wide Web. We've had a great show today, and we're going to conclude with some very happy young people with these scholarship awards that we're about to give out. And at this time, we'll turn the scholarship award presentations over to Mr. Dane Elliott, Ms. Kayla Warren, our breeding cattle leadership team, for introductions and remarks.
All right, welcome to the 75th Annual San Antonio Stock Show and Rodeo. Gonna end our beef cattle show or junior heifer show here tonight. First of all, I want to give all the exhibitors a big round of applause. This is a great achievement for them. Also want to introduce our chairman for our beef cattle committee. This is Kayla Warren. I'm the vice chairman. I'm Dane Elliott. And behind us, there's a bunch of our volunteers. There's 6,000 volunteers across these fairgrounds that help put this show on. There's 1,700 of them on the livestock side, and there's a little over 100 that helped put on this junior heifer show. So I want to give them a big round of applause too. We have some of our leadership from all sides of the fairgrounds here to join us to help present these scholarships. They do a great job. Give them a round of applause, please. Next thing, I want to thank all the parents that drug these kids and these heifers miles and miles. I grew up showing too, so I understand all of that. Parents, grandparents, brothers, sisters, 4-H leaders, FFA ag teachers, all of y'all that helped get these kiddos where they needed to be and get those heifers down the road. Y'all need to give yourself a big round of applause. They can't do it without you. Now here at the San Antonio Stock Show, we've given out $255 million back to the kids of the great state of Texas. 18,000 kids have received a scholarship, about 1,500 on scholarship currently. This beef cattle show, if everyone's eligible and we hand out all of the scholarships tonight, we'll give out $205,000 right here in this show ring. But y'all have heard enough from me. Let's recognize the kids that deserve it. Thank y'all.
Certainly like to thank the efforts of our livestock committee. They work year-round preparing for this show, countless hours, and couldn't have this show without their efforts. Let's talk about the kiddos now. Let's bring in our champion Hereford heifer exhibitor today. I'd like to invite Ms. Kinley Jo Guidry into the show arena. Kinley's a member of the Washington County 4-H clubs. Her parents are Jason and Krista Guidry. Her hobbies and interests include showing Hereford cattle, livestock judging, hunting, and fishing. Kinley plans to attend Texas A&M University and major in animal science and then go to vet school. Kinley will receive a $10,000 scholarship along with a belt buckle. Again, let's give our champion Hereford heifer exhibitor a big round of applause, Kinley Guidry. I'd like to this time invite Jarrett Worrell to come into the show arena. Jarrett exhibited our reserve champion Hereford female today. Jared is a member of the Mason County 4-H clubs. His parents are James and Shannon Worrell. Jared's interests include raising and showing cattle, hunting, and football. Jared plans to attend Texas A&M University and major in ag engineering. Jared wants to thank all the people and his cows for making this possible for him today. Jared receives a belt buckle for his reserve champion Hereford female. Again, let's give Jared a big round of applause. Mr. Harvey? Let's bring in Kendall Rayfield. Come on in, Kendall. Kendall exhibited our champion Simmental heifer here today. Kendall is a member of the Lubbock Cooper FFA chapter. Kendall's parents are John and Kelly Rayfield. Her hobbies and interests include showing cattle and livestock judging. Kendall's future plans are to attend Texas Tech and major in agricultural education. Kendall receives a $10,000 scholarship from the San Antonio Livestock Show and Rodeo, as well as a breed champion belt buckle. Also, Mr. Harvey, we failed to mention, I think they're getting a complimentary membership from the Texas and Southwestern Cattle Raisers Association. All the kiddos are here today. Let's give Kendall another round of applause. Great job on a super Simmental heifer. Bring in Dakota Franz. Dakota's a member of the Waller FFA chapter. Her parents are Scott and Lindsay Franz. Dakota's hobbies and interests include showing cattle and goats, as well as livestock judging. Dakota plans to be on the livestock judging team at Texas A&M, and while at A&M, major and pursue a career in animal reproduction. Dakota receives a reserve breed champion belt buckle from San Antonio, as well as the TSCRA complimentary membership. Lemmy.
And next up is our champion limousine, driven by Cole Parkinson. And those are our scholarship winners from Mosley County 4-H, parents of John and Amber Parkinson. And the coach enjoys playing football, basketball, 4-H, and showing steers and heifers. And in the future, he plans to attend Texas Tech University. And he'll be getting that scholarship, champion buckle, and the complimentary membership at the RCS. And our reserve champion limousine, exhibited by Kylie Gaston. She's a member of the Eastland FFA, and her parents are Jason and Kendall Gaston. Her hobbies include meat judging, running track, baking, and hanging out with the friends, and in the future plans to attend West Texas or Texas Tech and hopes to be on the meat judging team.
Let's bring in Emily Munschrath. Emily is a Grayford FFA member. She showed the champion shorthorn heifer here today. And for her efforts, she'll receive a $10,000 as well as a breed champion belt buckle from the San Antonio Livestock Show and Rodeo. Emily's parents are Nathan Munstrath and Amber Jennings. Her hobbies include breeding show cattle. Now, Emily came and talked to me earlier today, and it's a neat story. Her heifer she showed was Lizzie. The mom of Lizzie, Emily AI'd herself and created this heifer that won today as a bred known, and that's pretty neat. Other than breeding show cattle, she enjoys photography, modeling, fishing, and going to dance halls. How about that, Harvey? Her college and future plans includes attending Texas Tech University to study agriculture education with a minor in plant soil sciences. We've got Ms. Paisley Dreyer in the ring now. Paisley showed our reserve champion shorthorn heifer. Paisley will receive a reserve breed champion belt buckle donated by the San Antonio Livestock Show and Rodeo. Her parents are Scott and Sheena Dreyer. Paisley's hobbies and interests include dance and gymnastics and art. Now she plans to become a famous dancer or a horse rancher. Pretty good goals there. Mr. Harvey?
And ladies and gentlemen, our scholarship winner for the Charolais breed, the great champion exhibitor, Sydney Grice. And Sydney's a member of the Clear Creek FFA chapter. Her parents are Alan and Amy Grice. And her hobbies include spending time with the family and with her cattle. And in the future, she plans to attend Texas Tech University beginning this fall and go on a journey to become a veterinarian pathologist. And our reserve in our Charolais breed, getting the belt buckle and the TRCS membership, is Harley Groom. Miss Harley is a member of the Johnson County 4-H. Her parents are Terry and Rebecca Groom, and her hobbies include meat judging, traveling to shows, and showing cattle and pigs. In the future, hopes to attend Texas Tech University and major in animal science. Harley gets that reserve belt buckle and that complimentary membership to the Cattle Raisers Association.
Bring in Weston Zeb Murphy. Come on in, Weston. Zeb. Zeb showed our champion polled Hereford heifer here today, and he's a member of the Hamilton County 4-H Club. Zeb's going to receive a $10,000 scholarship and a breed champion belt buckle, courtesy of the San Antonio Livestock Show and Rodeo. Zeb's parents are Jake and Brandy Murphy. His hobbies include showing cattle, playing baseball, fishing, and hunting. Zeb's future college plans are to attend Texas A&M University and become an embryologist. Congratulations on your polled Hereford champion here today, Zeb. I'd like to invite Camden Crisp to come into the show arena. Camden's a member of the Valley View FFA chapter. Camden will receive a reserve breed champion belt buckle, as well as a complimentary membership to TSCRA. Her parents are Kelly Kirkendall and the late Dwayne Chris. Her hobbies and interests include working show calves, playing softball, hanging with friends and family. She plans to attend Weatherford College and study radiology. Congratulations on your reserve champion, polled Hereford heifer, Camden.
And ladies and gentlemen, our scholarship winner for the Red Angus breed, $10,000 winner there is Juliana Miller. Juliana is a member of the Woodson FFA chapter. Her parents are Brady and Kim Miller. Hobbies include livestock showing and going to the lake. And she's also involved as a cheerleader, playing volleyball and basketball and track. And in the future hopes to attend Kansas State University. And ladies and gentlemen, your reserve champion in the Red Angus breed, getting that trophy belt buckle for accomplishments in the Red Angus show, is Faith Wooten Jackson, and she's a member of Friendswood FFA. Her parents are Lindsay and Jim Jackson, and her hobbies include raising her cattle, entomology, and skiing, and in the future hopes to attend Texas A&M University or Tarleton and major in animal science. And Faith gets that complimentary membership to the Cattle Raisers Association.
Kennedy Brogdon, come on into the show arena. Kennedy showed our champion Maine Anjou heifer today. For her efforts, she's going to receive a $10,000 scholarship as well as a breed champion belt buckle, courtesy of the San Antonio Livestock Show and Rodeo. Kennedy is an Ellis County 4-H member. Her parents are Samantha Brogdon. Her hobbies include all things cattle, and she loves being involved in church youth groups. Her college plans and goals are to go to Texas A&M, be an ag teacher, and continue to help with her family's cattle operation. Congratulations on your champion Maine Anjou heifer today, Kennedy. Let's bring Mr. Barrett Howell into the show arena. Barrett is a member of the Somerville FFA chapter. Barrett will receive a reserve breed champion belt buckle today for his reserve champion Maine Anjou female. Barrett's parents are Cody and Ryan Howe. His hobbies and interests include baseball, football, and showing. And I know Barrett's a pretty good football player. I'm from his neck of the woods, and I saw some articles on him in the paper down there. Barrett's future goals include attending Texas A&M University. Congratulations, Barrett, on your reserve champion Maine Anjou female here today.
And ladies and gentlemen, our $10,000 winner in the Chianina breed, the champion exhibitor there was Avery Fincher from Ellis County 4-H, and Avery's parents are Jacob and Amelia Fincher. Hobbies include showing cattle, hunting, and hopes to attend Texas A&M University, become a livestock photographer someday, and he'll be receiving that belt buckle, including the commemoration of his Chianina championship. And Avery, congratulations. Our reserve in the Chianina breed was Harper Simpson. And Ms. Harper's a member of the Merkel FFA. Her parents are Jessica and Garth Simpson. And Jessica's hobbies include showing cattle, and that's her primary sport, she says. In the future, hopes to study biology and earn a MD in clinical embryology, and she's receiving that reserve champion belt buckle and the Cattle Raisers Association membership. And we had a 6th breed over in the South Arena, and they were our ORBs, and receiving the $10,000 scholarship for the ORBs is Finn Romanchuk. And he's from Montgomery County 4-H. Parents include Brad and Lisa Romanchuk, and his primary hobby is showing cattle. In the future, he plans to attend Arizona State University and get a major degree in accounting. Congratulations, Finn. And the reserve in our ORB, receiving a belt buckle to commemorate that accomplishment today, is Gage Seymour. He's a member of the El Campo FFA. His parents are Brian and Gretchen Seymour. Hobbies include playing on his iPad. He likes to do that Minecraft and Lego thing, and hopes to attend a four-year college and become an amateur. Getting that belt buckle. Gage is getting to look at that reserve champion belt buckle and that complimentary membership to the Cattle Raisers Association here in Texas. Well, let's give all these scholarship recipients a great big round of applause, and more importantly, all of the volunteers here at San Antonio that help earn the money that make these scholarships possible. Without that, we wouldn't be here for a scholarship presentation this evening.
See if we get the green light to bring our heifers in for our British Supreme Drive. Are we ready?
Ladies and gentlemen, we'd like to take this opportunity to introduce our judges. A couple of gentlemen that put in a good 13 and a half hours in this arena and ring today, and we greatly appreciate it.
I don't know if they're bringing, okay. Yeah, go ahead.
In our South Arena, we were pleased to have Mr. Shane Work of Manhattan, Kansas, and Shane, being from Manhattan, Kansas, probably has a connection to Kansas State University, and he certainly does as the purebred beef unit manager at that fine institution of higher education. And in addition, Shane owns and operates his own Hereford and Angus seed stock program. Shane attended Butler Community College, followed by Kansas State University, where he graduated in 2004. And during his time at Kansas State, Shane was on the judging team. He was a high individual as a cattle judge there, and had that distinction at the American Royal. He served in some leadership capacities, former president of the National Junior Hereford Board, and he was a member of that reserve national champion judging team in 2003. We're so glad to have Shane here in San Antonio, Texas, and appreciate his family, his wife, Alicia, Nora, his 6.5-year-old youngster, and Brooke, 5 years old, and little Ivy, who's 3 years old, sharing him his time and allowing him to be in San Antonio today. We appreciate Mr. Shane Works of Manhattan, Kansas, for working the South Arena.
I'd like to also introduce and recognize and thank Mr. Mark Ebelin from Burnett, Texas. Mark worked through our Hereford, Simmental, Shorthorn, Polled Herefords, and Maine Anjou cattle here this morning and this afternoon. Mark lives in Burnett, Texas with his wife Stephanie. Together they have 3 children and 5 grandchildren. Mark enjoys ranching, especially cattle and goats. Mark has both bred and shown national champions in 5 breeds of cattle. He was the herdsman of the year in 2 breeds and is judged all across the U.S. and Canada. Mark's favorite things about livestock shows and agriculture is the people he gets to meet and how the friendships he makes last a lifetime. We certainly appreciate their efforts today. Let's bring in some cattle. Let's bring in our champion Hereford female. Champion Hereford female exhibited by Kinley Joe Guidry. Kinley is a member of the Washington County 4-H. Congratulations on your Hereford heifer, Kinley. Let's bring in Jarrett Worrell. Jarrett is a member of the Mason County 4-H, and he showed our reserve champion Hereford heifer here today. Congratulations. Let's give a round of applause to our champion and reserve champion Hereford females.
And ladies and gentlemen, our next breed judged in the Europeans was our Angus cattle, and the champion there exhibited by Brack Fredericks. He's from Stephenville, FFA. And our reserve Angus, exhibited by Hadley Howell of the Somerville FFA chapter.
We're ready for our champion shorthorn. Emily Munstraff, would you please bring her on in the ring? Emily is a member of the Grayford FFA chapter. Congratulations on your champion shorthorn heifer. Like this time, invite Paisley Dreyer to bring her reserve champion shorthorn heifer into the show arena. Paisley is a member of the Toller FFA chapter. And Paisley, again, congratulations on your reserve shorthorn female here today. We're ready for some polled Herefords. Let's bring Weston Zeb Murphy into the show arena. Zeb showed the champion polled Hereford heifer here today, and he's a member of the Hamilton County 4-H clubs. Congratulations, Zeb, on your champion polled Hereford. I'd like to invite Camden Christ into the show arena, who exhibited our reserve champion polled Hereford female. Camden's a member of the Valley View FFA.
And ladies and gentlemen, our final British breed that was judged in the show today was in the South Arena, and that was your Red Angus breed. So we'll move in our Red Angus, exhibited by Juliana Miller, member of the Woodson FFA, your champion Red Angus. And our reserve champion, Red Angus, exhibited by Faith Jackson of the Friendswood FFA chapter. And judges, these are your British breeds. We submit them for your consideration and selection of a Supreme British Champion and a reserve. While our judges are viewing the cattle, I'd like to take this opportunity to introduce the superintendent's team here in our Junior Heifer Show. They worked the Wave 1 as well as Wave 2. Appreciate all of their efforts. And the dean of our group, most tenured superintendent among us, is Mr. David Wolf from Cotulla, Texas. We're also pleased to have with us on this team Dr. Mark Miller from Lubbock, Texas. He's been handling all of the grooming and our validation compliance issues. He's put on 1,000 miles of walking during this week, and we appreciate Dr. Miller, as well as the superintendents who are with the AgriLife Extension Service. They include Mr. Donnie Montemayor Donnie, District Director in Corpus Christi. Mr. Jason Ott of Uvalde, Texas. And Dr. Philip Shackelford from College Station, Texas. They serve as regional program directors in their respective regions of the state. I want to thank them for officiating the various breed shows that we've shown here in Wave 1 and Wave 2 of our Junior Heifer Show. As we mentioned earlier, our judges here have been in this arena since 7 a.m. this morning and have seen a lot of cattle. And our Wave 2, we had 724 head that were here in these show arenas. And our judges, I don't think ever had a moment when they had much downtime during that period today. And we want to thank them for all the courtesies that they've extended to our exhibitors here in San Antonio.
Well, folks, we made it here to kind of to the end of the road here today, and a long day full of a bunch of good cattle and a bunch of good kids, and just a tremendously enjoyable day for me. There's honestly nothing that's more enjoyable than getting out here and interacting with good people like there is here at this show, and just truly looking at really good cattle and sorting through cattle, and it's been good hard day of work, but it's also been a lot of fun, just an honor for me to be here. And I'll be brief. We've all spent a long day here, and you guys don't need to listen to me talk anymore. We're not going to talk about the cattle. You've heard that. Mark and I both tried to describe them well in each breed and each class, but I'll just make a couple general comments about the show and the kids, and it's been fun for me today. And the neat thing about coming here to judge today that I've noticed, if you've listened to my ring, I've kind of talked about some, what I call fundamentals or basics, traits in cattle that kind of start there, and then we build our way up. Well, something that's kind of struck me about being here just from the start there at 7 o'clock this morning is, fundamentals in life are something that you can tell matter here. We started out with a prayer, and we started out with a Pledge of Allegiance and the national anthem, etc. And you could see that resonate through these kids, through these exhibitors. One thing that struck me is, how respectful and how these young people went out here and showed like it mattered, like they cared. You could tell in the reactions of people, the folks that were fortunate enough to win, how they enjoyed it, how they appreciated it. And you could tell even kids that didn't do as well. Maybe when I had some of those classes that were bigger, there was 18, 20 head, maybe somebody got pulled in 14th, or maybe somebody got pulled in 5th. It wasn't what they wanted to do, but they respected that decision, and were great about it. And so, the show of competitiveness with still having sportsmanship was something that kind of stuck out to me. And I think that's a lesson that these young people out here, it's going to serve them well in life, because, I don't know about you, maybe this is just me exclusively, but there's some days in in life you feel like you do really well, and some days that maybe don't go as well as you want, and you got to learn to deal with both of those things in both ways. And I think what a better way that we've shown to for these young people to learn that going into life. And we know about other things that these shows teach these kids, and we've heard it before, and it's all true. But that was something that kind of just stuck out to me, that kind of came up in my mind as I judged throughout the day. But with that, again, you've heard me talk enough. We got another Supreme lineup to pick, but for me to pick the British Supreme champion out here at San Antonio is a true honor, and I just want to thank everybody that helped me in my ring, and thank you folks for having me down here. Just been truly humbling and enjoyable and honored to do it. I'm gonna go show you the champion. Mark's gonna show you the reserve, and then we'll pick the same there in our European breeds. But again, let's give these folks a big round of applause. Truly outstanding set of heifers.
And there's your champion in our British Breeds division, goes to our champion polled Hereford. Congratulations goes out to Zeb Murphy from Hamilton County 4-H. Congratulations on your Supreme British champion. Polled Hereford wins. Bring our reserve polled in for contention for our reserve British division winner.
And ladies and gentlemen, our reserve supreme honors go to your champion, Angus Brax Fredericks at Stephenville FFA, taking the reserve honors here in the European cattle. We've got one more drive to go. We'll be lining up those contenders vying for the Continental Championship here in the Supreme Show this evening, and we'll be introducing them shortly. We certainly want to thank our college interns that have been assisting throughout the week here at the show. Thanks to you young people, not only for your working the show arena, but also assisting with the move-in and other details. Greatly appreciate your help and couldn't do it without you.
Are we ready?
If our judges are set and our superintendents are in place, let's look at some other great cattle.
Okay, let's bring in our Continental breed and reserve breed champions here. We'll start off with our Simmentals. Our Simmental champion female, exhibited by Kendall Rayfield. Kendall is a member of the Lubbock Cooper FFA chapter. Congratulations to you, Kendall, on your champion Simmental here today at San Antonio. Our reserve champion Simmental heifer was exhibited by Dakota Franz. Dakota is a member of the Waller FFA chapter. Dakota, congratulations on your reserve champion Simmental heifer here today at San Antonio.
And our next breed here in the Continental Drive is the Champion Limousine, exhibited by Colt Parkinson's, a member of the Hockley County 4-H. And ladies and gentlemen, your reserve in that limousine show, Kylie Gaston, the exhibitor from Eastland FFA. Our Charolais champion, exhibited by Sidney Grice, a member of Clay Creek FFA. And ladies and gentlemen, your reserve Charolais was exhibited by Harley Groom of Johnson County 4-H.
I'd like to invite our Main-on-Jew heifer champions into the show arena at this time. Our champion Main-on-Jew heifer, exhibited by Kennedy Brogdon. Kennedy is a member of the Ellis County 4-H Club, and congratulations on your champion Main-on-Jew heifer here today. Let's bring in Barrett Howe. Barrett showed our reserve champion Main-on-Jew female here today, and Barrett is a member of the Somerville FFA chapter. Again, congratulations to our champions in our Main-on-Jew heifer show here today at San Antonio.
And ladies and gentlemen, our champion Kianina, raised and shown by Avery Fincher of Ellis County 4-H. And our reserve Kianina, exhibited by Harper Simpson of Merkel FFA. And our ORB champions, exhibited by Finn Romanchuk of Montgomery County 4-H, the reserve ORB, raised and exhibited by Gage Seymour of Wharton County 4-H. And these are your Continental breed and reserve breed champions for consideration in our Supreme Drive for the Continental Division. As you folks that have been here along ringside throughout our judging competitions today know that our judges only get to see close up 50% or so of the cattle. They do half of the breeds in the North Arena and about half the breeds in the South Arena. So they need an opportunity to look at these cattle a little closer. And once again, we appreciate all the hard work that they put in, the many hours of sorting through all of our entries here in Wave 2. Another couple of individuals that we'd like to recognize is our staff members here at the San Antonio show that give leadership to our livestock show, and that is the director of our competitive events, Dr. Brian Ferris, and the manager of competitive events, Ms. Morgan Thomas. They do a superb job of setting up this show. 12 months a year job for them, and it probably takes about 14 months, but they work it into 12 months so we can have a wonderful 3 weeks of showing for the young people of the state of Texas in our livestock show, competitive events, and all the various contests that go along with this tremendous show that provides scholarships and educational information to help the youth of the state of Texas. And for this, we're most appreciative.
Well, first off, on speaking for myself and Shane, we want to thank everyone that's worked so hard to put this together. There's a lot of time, a lot of volunteers, a lot of blood, sweat, and tears to make one of these deals happen and pull it off, and the amount of time that the group here gets done, and then everyone bringing the cattle in and presenting them as well as they've been presented. A lot of these cattle didn't get here till yesterday, and to get them filled back up and have them looking the way you have them looking in that short a period of time, I think congratulations to all of you exhibitors, the families behind these exhibitors, or whoever's helping them get them put together, because it is a challenge. We both showed cattle around the country, and we know kind of what it's like, and it's not the easiest thing to do, and a lot of times we have a few more days to get it done. So congratulations on that. The San Antonio Stock Show is kind of a special place for me. This is where I showed the first animal at a major livestock show, was here at San Antone when I was a little kid. I came up through the deal showing steers. Then we started showing breeding cattle here. My kids showed steers, lambs, and turkeys actually here. And now I've got a grandchild that showed her first time here this year. So San Antonio is a special place. It always will be. I remember the old days. It's really fun to see the improvement in where we went in the last 50 years. And hopefully we continue to improve and make it better. The sales committees that are involved, the people that work and gather up this money for these scholarships for you kids to use for your college education. Congratulations to all them as well. Quick thought, and Shane kind of hit on it already. All of you kids are very respectful. It's so fun to come and judge cattle when the people that you're working with work with you and try to present their cattle to the best of their ability, help the other kids exhibit their cattle as well. And one thing I think over the years traveling and getting to see different livestock shows around the U.S., whenever it's all said and done and we're done showing and we walk out of the ring, the greatest thing still about showing cattle is what we learn by showing and exhibiting. But the best thing is the friendships that we make along the way. And hopefully all you kids are making new friends. You're meeting people from around the country. Shane's father-in-law and I showed together back when we were kids. We don't see each other every day. We don't see each other every year. But I promise you, Brad could walk through and we'd go sit over in the corner and we'd go to talking and just pick it up like it was yesterday. And that's what friendship's all about. And that's what you get by exhibiting livestock. The greatest thing I think a kid can get involved in. Congratulations to all of you kids out here. Y'all have done a great job. We've enjoyed it. And we'll pick our champion reserve at this time.
And ladies and gentlemen, our Supreme Continental for the 75th Annual San Antonio Livestock Show is our Kianina Avery Fincher, the exhibitor from Ellis County 4-H. And we'll move up that reserve for consideration for our Reserve Continental Supreme. And our limousine, exhibited by Colt Parkinson, Hockley County 4-H member, takes the reserve honors here in the Continental Supreme Drive. Congratulations to Avery and Colt for their Supreme Continental cattle here at this year's 75th Anniversary San Antonio Livestock Show. Thanks to all of you for staying with us this evening. I know it's late. We greatly appreciate the support of all the parents, ag teachers, county agents, and certainly can't emphasize enough how much our volunteer committee people have meant to the success of this year's show. Greatly appreciate them. Hope to see you back next year in San Antonio for the 76th Annual San Antonio Livestock Show, and hope to see you here in the Breeding Cattle Show as well. Thank you and good night. Be safe in your travels.